What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. You know, every time I watch Mace and Cameron's podcast, I'm often thinking about my brother. Right? I have a brother who's deceased. My brother has been deceased since 2004. Right? My brother's 9 years older than me. My brother's favorite rapper was Big. Biggie was his favorite rapper. And so after Big's demise, he was still listening to everybody under the Bad Boy camp. And so naturally, he gravitated to listening to Mace because Mace was the one that picked up the torch and kept the flame burning for Bad Boy after Big's untimely demise, right? And so my brother put me on to Mace heavily. So when I'm watching Mace on the screen, I'm just thinking about my brother the whole time. Me and my brother were like this, y'all. That was my best friend. We were 9 years apart, but outside, like my brother was a big brother in every sense of the word, but he didn't let me feel like I was just one of them big brothers that feel like, oh, he too little to be around me. It never felt like that. He took me everywhere with him, to his girlfriend's house, to football practice. When he would go hoop at the park or in at the gym, when he went to his friend's house, when he went to the store, when he would go lift weights or whatever, he took me with him all the time. And he was a big brother. He played the game with me. He played the video game because he played the video games heavily. He was the one that got me heavily into wrestling when I was a little boy, right? And so let me explain the dynamic with my brother. So my brother, this is my older brother. My father is from my father. My father had him and my older sister while he was married to his college sweetheart, right? He's married to his college sweetheart. He had my sister first, had my brother, and then my dad and his college sweetheart, they divorced. They were divorced for years, and they went to Savannah, Georgia to go live in Savannah. Their mother took them to Savannah. My dad stayed in Chicago. He eventually met my mom, fell in love with my mom, had me, and him and my mom split when I was like 3 going on 4. I was going on 4 years old, right? So eventually my father ends up, after him and my mom split, he ends up rekindling with his college sweetheart that he has 2 children with. They end up moving back to Chicago when I was like about five at the time, right? They end up moving back to Chicago. They get back together. And so now I'm getting a chance to be under one roof with my brother and sister that were living in Savannah, Georgia. I remember when my brother and them first came to Chicago, and my brother was just, I hadn't been around my brother. He was gone. My dad would go down there to see them. They wasn't coming to Chicago. So me being around, I met my brother for real for the first time I was 5 years old, right? Like 5. And so my brother was just so excited to have a little brother that he could be around and under one roof with when I was going to my dad's house and going to stay over there, right? We slept in the same room. So I watched what he watched. I watched football. He had me watching baseball. I wasn't into baseball, but he had me watching Vince Carter, the Toronto Raptors. My brother loved Vince. I watched the slam dunk contest with my brother. That one that Vince won. Was that 2000, 99, 2000? 2000, I believe. I watched that contest. It might have been 99, 2000, I don't know. The one Vince won, I watched that with him, right? So my brother was like everything to me. We just were like, that was my dog all the way through and through. So as I mentioned, my brother passed away in 2004. Probably the worst day of my life, y'all. Worst day of my life. I remember it like it was yesterday. This is so my brother was shot and killed January 20th, 2004. He was away at college, at a junior college at DePage. He got into a fight with a young man. He was getting the best of the young man. The young man's friend grabbed the gun and shot and killed my brother. Right? Devastated me. I remember getting a phone call. I'm at my mom's house. At the time, my grandparents were living with my mom, So I'm watching The Proud Family. I remember this vividly. I'm watching The Proud Family in my mama's bed. My mom in the front room on the computer. I fall asleep in her bed while I'm watching The Proud Family, the Johnny Lovely episode of The Proud Family. I fell asleep watching that. My mom answered the phone ringing in the middle of the night. It's about 3 in the morning. 2, 3 in the morning. My mom answered the phone. It's my father. She tell me that my brother had been shot and killed. Somebody shot and killed my brother. Y'all, I fell to the floor, to my knees, started crying like crazy. because I couldn't believe that my brother was gone. You know, I was 11 years old when my brother was killed. 11 years old. So, again, through that life from 5 to 11, me and my brother was like this. The weekend before he was killed, he took me to go get the True Crime Streets of LA video game. We was playing it together. We taking turns playing. He's showing me how to play it. We having a good time, having fun, right? And so I just couldn't believe that he was gone, like in a blink like that. That hurt my heart and crushed me. Again, I remember all that. So that, like, for years, I couldn't even watch the Proud Family Johnny Lovely episode because it just reminded me of just trauma from after. That's what I fell asleep to. And then when I woke up, the first thing I'm waking up, I'm hearing the news that my brother has been shot and killed. It tore me up all over because I just felt like, man, I need my brother. I'm like, how am I going to learn how to talk to girls? How am I going to learn how to do any of the things that my brother knew how to do? How am I going to learn how to do any of this stuff? How am I going to learn, the ins and outs of football the way I'm supposed to without my brother here? My brother was a football player, played at Morgan Park High School, won the city championship as a starting linebacker for Morgan Park High School. All of that, like, my brother was good at just about everything. He could swim, he could hoop, he could play football. He was driving to school his senior year. They had him a nice little car. My brother, again, he he knew how to talk to girls. I mean, my brother had 2 girlfriends at the same time. And I know there's nothing to brag about, but I'm just saying my brother was gifted in a lot of areas, He played baseball when he was a kid. Yeah, man, he was a people person. Everybody loved him and loved being around him. He was a person that made everybody light up when he was around. And so, man, when I lost him, y'all, like I promised y'all, for a while, sleeping in the room didn't feel the same when I would go to my dad's house. All I could think about is my brother. I'm seeing his clothes around. I'm seeing like his championship ring that he won with the Morgan Park Mustangs in the room. So I feel his presence all in the room. And, it's messing with me because, like, I don't see him in here anymore. Because even when he went to college, he would come home on some weekends and come hang with me. We go to the park or whatever. We go hoop. He played a game with me. He'd take me to go get some clothes and when he got a little money in his pocket. Take me to go get my hair cut. All of that, man. So it ripped me to pieces. And not only that, I seen my father. That's the first time I ever seen my father cry in my life. Now, my father had lost 2 brothers and his father at that point. I never knew my grandfather because he's passed away long before. He didn't even see 50. He's passed away long before I was even thought about. But I knew my uncles and they died before my brother. And I didn't see him cry then. But when my brother died, my dad cried and fainted. I'm almost crying like a baby because his baby has been killed and deceased. So I seen how that affects a parent when they lose a child. And then they also had to be there for me because they knowing that me and my sister and my older brother, I had an older brother older than them. They had to be there for us because they know, listen, we just lost our sibling. Like, this is crazy. Then my cousin that hooped at West Virginia University and then ultimately ended up hooping at Toledo, it messed him up so much. He transferred from West Virginia. This is before West Virginia was a powerhouse. And went to Toledo, ultimately for 2 reasons. One, they were just using him to rebound and kick it out to Kevin Pittsnogle. Kevin Pittsnogle for West Virginia, y'all look it up. He became this sharpshooting, tall white dude, was a sharpshooting dude. He was the star of West Virginia, before, like the first, like, blossoming star at West Virginia at that time. It's after young Drew Shafino, but he kind of like put West Virginia on a map. Pittsnogle, him and John Beilein. John Beilein was his coach, Michigan John Beilein or whatever. But my cousin felt like it wasn't utilizing him right. He ended up transferring to Toledo, ultimately because it was closer to home, 4 hours away. He could get back home and be close to family to see us and spend time with us, in a way because him and my brother were like best friends. They were a year apart in age. They did everything together. My brother went to go visit him in West Virginia, all of that. My brother was planning on getting his grades up to go to West Virginia to be there with my cousin. So when my brother got killed, it rocked us all to pieces. And but I promise y'all, man, my brother was the light of the family for real. When I'm telling y'all I had a smile lit up the room, like I smiled a lot, my brother smiled a lot. All the time. All the time, man. Just was a beautiful spirited person. Everybody that my brother came across, man, remember him. And just how much of a genuine individual he always was. And man, I remember just being around him and just like looking up to him. I went to Morgan Park High School, the school I went to, because my only really mainly it was a great high school. It's a great high school. And it was a fun school with a lot of school spirit. And I figured I could have a real high school experience there. But really the ultimate, really deciding factor was because my brother went there. I wanted to have a piece of my brother with me, so I went to Morgan Park High School because he went there. You know, so yeah, man, it devastated me for a long time. Devastated my sister for a long time. You know, my sister, like, he been with us from day one. They had the same mom, same dad. So, you know, they spent all their life together. I was with my brother from when I was 5 till I was 11. But since then, that moment when I was around, when my brother moved back, it was like we was stuck like this. Stuck like this. People thought me and my brother and my sister all had the same mama. Because I was always over there. I was always with him. I was always kicking it. I was always there with him as a little young boy. He had me everywhere with him. I remember we was in the barbershop, man. Dude came in there selling the motorized scooters for about $200. My brother had been working, saving up money. He just had it in his pocket. He like, you want this scooter? You want it? You want it? I'll get it for you. And I'll never forget that he really wanted to get it for me. I didn't want him to get it because I didn't want, man, I'll let dad and them buy me something like that. I ain't going to do that. But I promise y'all, I used to want stuff my brother had. My brother would give it to me. Just strictly off of the strength that he knew, like, he just wanted to be a great big brother for me. So, you know, all these things, when I watch Vince Carter on TV, when I watch Mace on TV, when I hear big songs, it just reconnects me to my brother. And yeah, man, that was my boy. Still my boy, man. I remember we had dog tags, man. This is when dog tags was popular. With my brother's face on the dog tag, his image on the dog tag. And man, that was everything to me. Because, man, like, again, if y'all would have met my brother, y'all would see exactly why I light up when I talk about him. Because he was just a fun dude for real, man. And, you know, still missing to this day. I wish he was able to see me have children and graduate from college and get my master's degree and all that type of stuff. Because he would have been happy, proud of me, you know. And again, he's proud of me now, you know, watching down. But yeah, man, I feel like, it changed a lot, man. For years, my stepmother, who my father ended up, like I told you, he ended up being back with his ex-wife. I watched her not even want to celebrate my brother died. It was in late January, but, you know, I remember we still had the tree up over there. So for years, she didn't really even want to put she didn't put the Christmas tree up for years because it brought back those memories of it being like kind of like not too far from holiday season when my brother was killed. And so I want to say she started putting the tree back up like 2017, 2016-ish, right? And it made me smile. From 2004 to 2016, we was not having no tree up in my dad's house. You know, my dad and them would give me the gifts, but we didn't have no tree over there. Didn't have the decorations around the house. Didn't have the lights up and all that because it just was too much for my stepmother to bear. Just thinking about my brother, you know. But now it's back celebrating it all. But yeah, man. I really, my brother was the man, the dude, in every sense of the word. So whenever I do things and thinking about what would my brother do. My brother was the type of dude. My brother, I remember this vividly. We going to Italian Fiesta. This on 80th and Halsted. I think Italian Fiesta on 80th and Halsted. Going to Italian Fiesta, my brother wanted to pick up a pizza because we gonna eat the pizza. And we was watching, I don't know if it was gonna be like the All-Star game or something we watching. My brother picked up the pizza. It's a man outside the store, and he like asking for change. My brother gave him like $10. Right? Now, again, my brother wasn't taught to do this from my dad's not giving nobody no money. That's just not my dad. He ain't doing that, right? But my brother give people, I've seen him give, not even just this person. I remember one time we was at the, where we was at? Coming from the gym. We coming from the gym. We at the light. Somebody asked for some change at the light. My brother get him like $7, something crazy. You know, he just was a giving person all the way around with a beautiful spirit. And so when I saw that, I'm like, yo. So when I started working downtown, it's a lot of homeless people downtown. If I had a nice little amount of money in my pocket that I could spare, I would give it to them. Or I try to buy them a meal or something because I'm just thinking about the type of person that my brother was and things that he would do for people. And if they really needed it. And brother always was a solid man. He once taught me taught me about dressing and matching the clothes with the shoes. He had all the different jerseys. He had the Reebok to match with it, the Air Force Ones to match with this. Reebok was in 2001, 2002 when he was in high school. He graduated in 2002. So he had all the shoes to match the stuff. He had the headband with this when the headbands and the jerseys was just popping. Right? He had the Negro League jerseys. He had the Negro League fitted caps. All of that type of stuff. It was fly. Had the shoes with the shirt. He was a fly dude all the way around. And I wanted to be like him. And so I hope I made my brother proud. But I just wanted to share y'all my memories of my older brother, Michael J.